Ooh wee.
Because we are raising up women to be men.
Black culture is mad with Mr. Bishop T.D. Jakes. Are y'all small man or are y'all big man? I don't know, but y'all mad, and we gonna talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Becoming with Angelina Watkins, where we are turning dreamers into believers and doers. This is a podcast here to help you get out of your own way so you can overcome the hurdles of your path, so you can walk in your purpose and live an abundant life. And I'm your host, Angelina Watkins here, your queen of becoming, here to help you become who you need to be, so you can do what you're purposed to do, so you can have the life that you want to live. And me and my guests, we're here to give you a fresh perspective and the blueprint to win at love, life, and money. So in today's episode, ooh-wee, y'all is mad with Mr. Bishop T.D. Jakes. Black culture is upset with him over some words that he said in his Father's Day message back in June.
Real men pour in. Real men pour in. Real men are not a deficit. Real men are an asset.
And this social media clip is now circulating social media, and it's getting a lot of attention, and it's getting a lot of people talking and some discussions made. And in the comments, some of these folks are just ruthless, and they are mad and they are upset with the black church because of what Bishop T.D. Jakes had to say. And they're saying things like, that's why I never liked that T.D. Jakes. There was always something about him. And it's amazing. It's amazing how we can take a comment, what I feel, out of context, and then comment on it and have an opinion and get all upset. And so for me, I said, you know what? I hear the clip. I don't know that I totally disagree with the clip, but then again, I don't know if I do agree. It just depends on what he was saying before and after it. So you know me, I got to go do my research. And I went and found the sermon and I listened to it. But before we really get into that, I want to just kind of talk a little bit about how we take things out of context and we allow people to present us with half-truths, and we get ourselves in an uproar and upset and distracted from what we need to be concentrating on and focusing on. And that's the whole point of it, is to get you distracted, to get you all upset, to get you emotional, and carrying on and not doing what you need to be doing because you're so upset for the words of someone else that is taken out of context. We have to stop being so quick to respond to something that is presented to us. We have to stop being so quick to respond to every little thing that somebody says that we may not agree with, without getting clarity and understanding of what they're saying and what they really mean. Because people say things and it doesn't come out right, and it's not necessarily their intentions, but that's the way it comes out. But when you take the time to ask for clarity, ask for understanding, because we got to understand that when people speak and how people react is based upon their past experiences, right? Their upbringing, their culture, their education, their community in which they were raised. All of these things are filtering their perspective on the words that you say or the words that you hear. And in that, we have to be able to stop in that moment and get some clarity to see, is what I'm hearing right? Because I don't know that I like what I'm hearing. I'm not sure that this makes sense. Before I go off on you, before I cuss you out, before I let you have it because I think what you said is out of order, let me be sure that the words you are speaking are the words that you mean. Which goes to the clips that we see on social media. Let me make sure that what I just saw was within the context of what I'm taking it as, and I'm not missing something because I didn't hear all of what was said. So let's just kind of listen first. Let's just listen to What is the clip that's going around social media that's got people all up in a hype? So let's listen.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now. Because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
I'm reading some of these comments that people had to say. What about the fact that if we don't climb the corporate ladder, who's going to raise the kids the men made who don't support, care, or raise them? He talked about that.
You can't just turn the kids over to her because she's a gifted nurturer, and she will nurture things that she later regrets. That's why there are two of you. And that's why you have to be released to play your role and she plays her role, and together we balance the home.
Another person says, Black women are doing what they have to do, not what they want to do. As for me and my homegirls, we would love to be led and taken care of by a man who knows where he's going. He talked about that too.
That you have got to be the one who pours in, not the one who takes out.
He talked about the men not leading. He talked about the men not pouring in, because that's what the whole sermon was about. Real men pour in.
Real men pour in. Real men pour in. Real men are not a deficit. Real men are an asset.
But see, we done got stuck on the raising our women to be men, that we missed the whole message of the fact that he said real men pour in. And men are not walking in the position in which they were designed to walk. They're not leading the home. They're not doing the things that they're supposed to do. And that they're not being, quote unquote, real men.
Women, be careful about pouring too much into us. We are designed to pour into you. And you are designed to take what we pour into you and increase it and make it better. You increase it, you appreciate it, and you multiply it.
And why are they not being real men? Why are they not doing these things that in these comments, these women feel like he should have addressed that, which he did? Another person says, it's gotten so hard for females, we had to man up. All these thousands of years of books letting men know what their role is, and they ran away. He talks about that. He talks about the man not doing what he's supposed to do and just turning the kids over to the mother to raise and have to do it by herself. He talks about that. He talks about how it's not right that these men have done what they've done and left us in a position to become that woman who's angry and aggressive and has an attitude and who's nasty and who feels like I don't need you. Because we've had to take care of everything on our own. We've had to do these things on our own because the men have not been men. They've shied away from their responsibility. They've shied away from being the husband, the father, and the family man. They've shied away from being the protector and the provider. They've shied away from being the disciplinary. They shied away from these things, and they've left and put the burden on the woman alone. And what does that do to the woman? Who do we become as a result of having to do it all on our own? And we don't want to do it on our own. We don't always have the strength to do it on our own. We don't always have the knowledge to do it on our own. We don't have the physical ability to do it on our own. But somehow we've been made to have to do that. And we've made it work. But because we've been given burdens that we weren't supposed to bear, we have become angry, mad, bitter, aggressive, nasty. We have. And I can speak on this because I've been she. I am her. Okay? I have been that mad woman because he wasn't showing up and he wasn't doing his part and he was leaving it all on me. Okay? And then you get mad and you get bitter that you're in this position. They've left you in this position. It's not even about the fact that you're not with me or you're not with the mother. It's just the simple fact that you've left us to bear it all on our own. And I was listening to something where a guy was talking about how, how strong the woman is, and he was thinking how strong his cousin is because she does all these things. And her thing was, but that's not a compliment. That ain't what we want to be. We don't want to be out here doing it all on our own. We don't want to be out here having to take care of it all on our own. No one to depend on, no one to fall back on, no soft place to land when we can't hold it together. And so in what he's saying, we are raising our women to be men. He's not literally meaning that we're raising women to be men. But what he is saying, when you go back and you listen to the whole context of his sermon, is the fact that the sociological order of family has been messed up because of the man. He's not blaming it on the woman. He's not saying because you showing up with your attitude and your aggression and your anger that it's your fault that the family is falling apart. I saw one video where someone's saying that, oh, what you trying to say? We've got to downplay our shine and cater to the black male ego? No, that's not what he's saying. If you go back and listen to the whole context of the sermon, he's saying, man, you need to step up. Y'all not doing what y'all supposed to do. Now, this Father's Day sermon wasn't no nice, oh, fathers, you are so great. He like, no, I know it's Father's Day, but I got to tell y'all about yourselves. The person said, we're going out to get what they want. They're going out to get what they want, but we're breaking up the families. Men demean, they denigrate and disrespect black women. It's not the fact that black men are having babies with women and leaving them the home. It's just all our fault, right? And she's saying it's not the fact that the men play head games and lie and cheat and steal. None of those are the factors that they don't want to deal with and focus on them, meaning the men. They focus on themselves. That's not what he says. That's not what he's saying at all. You got to go back and listen to the first part of the sermon before he gets to this. And what he's saying right here, it's not untrue. It's not untrue because we've been left to be the strong one. We've been left to do everything. What we have done is we have climbed that corporate ladder. And we are buying the houses and the homes and taking care of the kids ourselves. And we are successful holding it down. But in getting that success and in strengthening ourselves and in raising ourselves up, some of us have become angry, aggressive, bitter women who have the attitude of, I don't need you. Because in our mind, you weren't there for me then, why you want to be here for me now? I done made it, I done upgraded my own self without you. I done been doing good without you. I'm successful without you. And we have the attitude that I don't need a man. I don't need a man to take care of me. And it's true. You don't need a man. You don't need a man to take care of you financially. But what that has done is we have built a wall up to protect our hearts and to protect ourselves. And in that wall, what we display is the anger and the resentment and all of those things that Bishop T.D. Jakes was spewing out about who that woman has become, who's successful, who don't need that man. And so what happens is we didn't need a man and we act like we don't need you, and we are now demeaning. And it doesn't take away the fact that they've been demeaning and disrespectful, but now we want to act like them. What they've done to us is turn us into them, raising our women to be men. We women have turned into the nasty, disrespectful, demeaning, degrading, degenerate man. That's how we're acting now as a result of what they did to us. And what it's saying is we've got to get back to who we are. The men, y'all need to get in position. He's telling them, y'all need to get in position. Y'all should be pouring in and y'all should be stepping up and y'all should be there. And because you're not doing what you're supposed to do and leaving all this on this woman, she's become something that God did not design her to be. It's not that we can't go get our own houses. It's not that we can't go get our home, but it's about our character and our personalities and how we're showing up in relationships. Because now we get these men that we're in a relationship with and we treat them nasty and we talk down to them because our attitude is still, I don't need you. Well, then why are you with him? Why did you marry him if you didn't need him? Like, we can't keep coming home, taking what corporate America has done to us and then dishing that out to our husbands and thinking that everything is going to be okay, because that's not okay. You can't get married and treat your husband like trash because of what someone else did to you, and that someone else wasn't there for you. And now you vow to yourself and make this vow to yourself that I'm going to take care of me. I don't need nobody. I can do this all by myself. Then why get married? We're talking in the context of marriage here. Why even get married then? Why even be in a relationship? Because if you're going to have that attitude and treat the next guy like he's nobody, then he's not going to want to be with you. That's what Bishop T.D. Jakes is saying when he says that when you want to act like you don't need me. No, we don't need them, but we don't have to treat them like they're nobody. We don't have to talk down to them and demean them and yell at them and talk to them like they're our kids and like they don't have feelings, because men do have feelings. So we got to go back and listen to the whole context of the sermon. He was not trying to put the woman down for her accomplishments and the things that she's done, but let the men know that it's your fault. Because you're not in position. You're not walking as God designed you to walk. You're not leading as God designed you to lead. You're not doing your part to make the Black family work. Instead, you walked away, you've become passive, and you've left everything on the woman to do. And men, it's time for you to get into position. He's telling them it's time for you to now step up and pour in. Real men pour in. But why are they not pouring in? They're not pouring in because they are a product of their environment.
You cannot give what was not poured into you.
You teach who you are. And so what it is that we have a lot of men who aren't in position because they don't know how to be in position. They wasn't taught how to be in position. They weren't fathered. They weren't shown how to love the woman, how to treat the woman, how to father their children. They weren't taught that they should be the provider and the protector. They come from an environment that didn't teach that. And the one lady that I heard was in her video, she was talking about the Black church is full of misogyny, which is sexism, accepts pedophilic ways and is judgmental and nasty towards the LGBTQ community. Now, we can't take what Bishop T.D. Jakes said and put that on all the Black churches, okay? There are some good churches out there and pastors and bishops that are teaching the truth, and they're telling the men about themselves just as well as the women about themselves. The thing is, we don't want to hear about ourselves. We don't want the truth. We don't want nobody to tell the truth. And when somebody starts hollering and getting mad and upset when the truth is told, that's when you know you've hit the nail on the head, okay? Because you're getting upset because we don't want to hear the truth. We want to keep operating in the dysfunctional manners that we have, and it's time for us to get out of it. It's time for us to get back to who God created us to be. It's time for the men to get in a position and do what they're supposed to do as a husband and a family man, and it's time for the woman to be able to not have to carry all of the burden on her, to make the decisions, to take care of the household, make money, take for the children, while all you do is go to work and then come home and sit down. No, those days are over. Those days are over. This is supposed to be a shared thing. Marriage is a partnership, and everything can't just be relying on the woman. So I can understand what some of the people in the comments were saying. But my thing, I would encourage you to not be upset, to go back and listen to the whole thing, because that clip, while powerful, was taken out of context. And what you missed is everything he's telling the man that he has not been doing, that is causing the woman to act in a manner that God did not create her to be. All right? Where you are is not where you have to be. Your past does not define you, you define you. So heal, transform, and pursue you.